Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Why are we here? There are two main reasons. One is integration of knowledge or Islamization of knowledge. As you know, we have got a religion, we've got a history, we've got a culture, we've got a civilization. We have got our own view of knowledge, philosophy of knowledge. We have got our own epistemology. It means when we do research and when we do teach, we have got our own approach. It cannot be some other people's approach. So that's what we call Islamization or integration. So when we make a university in Pakistan, teaching Pakistani people, Muslims, it must reflect their Islamic background in the disciplines that we teach. Because many of the disciplines we teach, most of them are pure science and research, but also they are philosophies of other people. Let's take in English literature, you know Romeo and Juliet? I studied in school. And all I knew is that there was a boy and a girl and they ran away and the parents didn't like, tragedy and they died. My teacher never mentioned anything that there is something haram. No, it's irrelevant. A Muslim teacher will still teach Romeo and Juliet, but will point out the moral part of it. The other one, the moral part of it is not important. They don't mention it. So in a way, you are passing on to your students passively without mentioning that, this is okay. Romeo and Juliet did it, also you can do the same thing. So there are many things like this in all the disciplines of knowledge, which reflect not only the empirical research, but they reflect the philosophy and culture of the people whose books we use. So really, as Muslims, we need to Islamize or integrate Islamic values in the various disciplines of knowledge. Now, that brings me to the second objective. The second objective is that we need to write our own teaching materials. At the moment, we teach using textbooks we import from overseas. We teach also some in Urdu, but we just translate. Okay, so we need really to write our own books. Several reasons why we need to write our own books. One, it's self-assertion, self-confidence. We can do it. If the American or British can write a textbook that used to teach physics, why can't you write it? What makes it worse is that at university, you studied in London, you were better than him. You come back here, he writes a book, you import it and use it to teach. Why don't you write this book yourself? So the first reason is this self-assertion, self-confidence, self-reliance. That is one. The second reason, if we have the challenge to write the book to be used for teaching, it automatically improves the quality. It automatically and dramatically. Automatically and dramatically. The second reason is we write our own teaching material. I gave the reason, the issue about our self-confidence, self-reliance, self-assertion. Why can't we do it? The second is about the quality of the teaching. See, I am a lecturer, you're also lecturers. You know this very well. You prepare the first lecture last year. This year you look for the same papers. Maybe you look at them for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, go and teach the same. You see? Take it easy. Teaching without preparation. Now, if we are teaching using materials that we ourselves wrote, if you write that book, if you write that chapter in the book for today's lesson, you wrote it. You have to see what are the learning objectives, What are the learning outcomes? What are the sources? What are the elements that are to be there? What are the exercises at the end? Really, you go through this process as much as you find in the imported textbooks. So, if we write our own books, we will ensure quality. And our students will be reading something that we have prepared and we teach, but with quality. Now, the third reason has to do with understanding the student. You know, there is a difference between learning objectives and learning outcomes. Learning objectives is what the lecturer wants. I have got a lesson, this is what I want them to know. But what they learn, the outcomes, also depends on them. Because you may say a lot of things, some things go through, some things go above their head, they don't internalize it. So, to think about learning outcomes, we need also to prepare teaching material, taking into consideration the emotions, the culture, the background of our students. So this aspect, a foreigner cannot understand. If you're writing something for a Pakistani, you know how a Pakistani thinks. You know where to start and how to go. There are certain things that we can't even describe, but you automatically know them. So, learning outcomes will become better if we write for students we know. We even know how they learn. You see? If I'm teaching medicine for students who have Huffaz al-Quran, because this happens, I know that the whole class are Huffaz al-Quran. So when I teach medicine, I speak little and go away. I don't need to repeat because I know when I spoke, they learned it. If it's a different type of people, because anatomy in medicine has to do with memorization. Simple. It's not understanding. You need to memorize. If you teach Huffaz al-Quran, you say very little and go away. If you teach other students who don't memorize, you have to take more time and repeat until they can memorize it. So this is what I say. To ensure learning outcomes, you need to know for whom you are writing. Only you people know this. Only you people understand the student you are talking about. I mentioned two things. I talked about Islamization or integration of Islam into the disciplines, which only you can do. The American author cannot do that for you. The second one is about the quality of teaching. And I gave several reasons why, if we write our own books, we'll improve the quality of the teaching and the outcomes.